Hell yeah. Hey, Bone. Hey, Steph. Yeah, this is a quarter lot. And we watered the flowers and the garden. And then there's the other lot that I usually burn in. That's the second garage. And then it just keeps going for about 2 acres solid woods. Thank you. How you doing, Bone? Fire that won't stop. Yeah, it's pretty peaceful other than the traffic. That was about the only nice thing when the vid hit everything. There was no traffic up and down the road, so it was very quiet. I'm just far enough away from the city. Actually, the city line's behind me a little ways, but not much. I'm just far enough away from everything, but close enough that in 5 minutes I can be to stores and shopping centers and all that. And then out to the east of me a little bit more, some more industrial stuff and whatnot. About a mile and a half, 2 miles north is the Indiana-Michigan line. So right on the line. What we're burning is yeah, it is. What we're burning, funny enough, the tree that's giving us some shade here, I'll show you. We had those tornadoes last month that hit. And what we're burning is the top of the tree here. We have 2.5 trees, which is kind of funny. We've got this one that's remaining, that one that's remaining, and that one's kind of missing a bit of the tree. And that's what we're burning right now. It was just when the top came down and decided to come visit us and say hello. And then there's pieces of the wood, but it's getting to the point I'm not going to be able to move those by myself. So I have to wait and chip that up and get a chipper and turn that into mulch. But yeah, it's a nice blue skies, cloudy day, or cloudless day rather. Big puffy clouds. I was saying last night I really need to get a tripod one of these days. Because this is a camcorder tripod with an L bracket and a tomato tie holding my phone up. MacGyvered, fabricated, reusing old stuff. Here comes a guy on a bicycle. Doo, 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 doo. This is what I do when we're not streaming and hanging out in the evenings and all day long on the 3 acres doing something. And it's legal to burn yard waste, which we're doing. So even in the county, they like to. They've been trying to annex us into the city for the last 12 years that we've been here. They said, don't want your city. We'll give you free trash. No, that's all right. I'll pay for my trash. Up the road, they burn it. I'm at least civilized enough not to do that. Though, to be honest, the majority of what they get in my trash is probably 3/4 dog poo. So, haha. When I started the roosters, we're having a rooster off, man, across the way there. Ramon, his rooster was crowing. Then down and to the left a bit, there was another one going, and like all the roosters were just cock-a-doodle-dooing and ar-ar-ar-ar-ing. So it was pretty funny this morning. I started this fire Wednesday, and we're still going. As the circle gets smaller and smaller from the leaves and all the tree pieces I've added. I've had 2 massive storm showers that came and didn't put it out. Apparently this redneck figured something out. Nice. Yeah, good morning so far. It was funny on the fake book. I apparently a year ago I was burning in the backyard in the fire pit that I made where we do the toy stream sometimes, and I'm sitting out there. So thought that was kind of funny. Here I'm a year later doing the same thing. Yeah, I streamed last night. We had the fire going on, and I smoked out the whole neighborhood, which was great to cover up those Canadian wildfires. I actually got hit with that a couple days ago. We had it in the sky, so I burnt as well. Figured I'd rather smell oak than whatever that shit was that was coming down this way. And then wrapped up last night, was still going, and chatted with Mr. Vinny for a little bit on the phone about 2 in the morning. Then came back out here and kept an eye on it throughout the night. Charged the phone and been pretty much going all night into the day. Glad it's an easy Sunday. Not much going on. Benefits of being an insomniac. Yep, exactly. They have the 8 to the A to the R to the P, but yet they can't make it rain, and they proved they could do that back, what was it, during WW2, or at least in the 70s, 60s or 70s. I mean, that'd be the perfect time. All the cloud seeding that they did and made towns drowned underwater here in the States, and you guys couldn't do the same thing, seed the clouds to help it rain, to put out the fires that were probably purposely started by a crackhead. Well, at least that's what they blame them on in California. California has been on fire for like the last decade plus. And it's generally a meth head that's an illegal, or a meth head that's cold in 80-degree weather. So they start up a fire and then it's crazy. And then, yeah, I'm just so far north. And like I said, I got the state of Michigan, and then there's Canada. Used to be with a driver's license, you could go into Canada. But now you got to have a passport, which I have, and I've got the passport ID, so I don't have to have my passport to come into Canada, which I haven't ever done. I've had a few friends up in Canada. Fella, his handle was Lando Calrissian back in 1819, that I used to talk with quite a bit, and a couple other people, and then now you. So if I ever have a run up to Canada, I'll have to see if it'll be by you or in your area, and we'll go out for coffee or tea or something. But yeah, cut my traveling down the last few years. There's just been too much going on here that had to be done. Now with petro going through the roof and the insanity that is, it's almost more important now to try to travel and see people while we still have the ability to do so without more lockdowns and craziness. Oh shit, okay, gotcha. I had a buddy that was in Santa Clarita, and it was the same thing. Yeah, after it had so many problems, he had to move back here because he couldn't breathe. That's how I knew what was going on in California, because he used to call me all the time, tell me what was going on, warn me about Kamala Harris, how she was working her way through the system without doing anything, and then she became our vice president. We didn't call that one or see that coming. BJ Queen blowing her way to the top. But yeah, most of the people I knew that were in California fled. I think Fed's still there. Adorable, the horrible. Yeah, if they could get their heads out of their asses, we could fix everything and everybody could go back to vacationing and visiting and tourism and make a shit ton of money. But apparently they don't want to do that anymore. Give people a livable wage again like we had back in the 90s. High school dropout out a GED, making almost 30K a year working for Kodak, developing film, working on the machines, all that. I don't know what the fuck I'd do today if I had to work and went on disability, which pays fuck all. 2008, I got $800. 2026, I get like $1,300. 1,300 doesn't even pay my house payment. Think of the frickin' FHA loan and taxes and all that other bullshit. It's what, 6 to 8 grand a year just in insurance. And then when the tree hit the roof and we needed a new roof, out of 30 grand, they paid like 1,000. It was crazy. Right. No, we've got some JD Vance, that frickin' idiot. It should have been Kennedy is who should have been the vice president, because you'd have had a Republican and a Democrat vice president, and then maybe stuff would have got done. But JD Vance was a plant. Him and Yamaswamy went to school together. He's the Indian fucker that said Americans are too fucking stupid and lazy to do the job, so we need to import more Indians in. It's like, no, we don't. I've got friends that have had family that for decades have tried to get here, and thousands of dollars trying to become citizens. And these are the good people that should be here, but they don't want to bring those people here. They want to flood our streets with, like, the Somali pirates that we've had for the last 30 years on Medicaid and Medicare, and our tax dollars go for. And then, they change areas like in Dearborn, Michigan to mini Pakistan, where there's no English, and they blow horns like they do in the Middle East and shit like that. Yeah, America's fallen. They're just too proud to admit it and don't care. They give us just enough to barely stay above ground, and then when you're on the system they want everybody to be on, they throw you off for no reason. Because I had that happen this year, back in February, from 2008 to now, been on Social Security disability for being legally blind, and they threw me off saying I was no longer considered disabled. And I'm like, okay, where the hell am I going to work? I haven't worked since 2008 with Kodak that doesn't exist. I can't stare at a screen all day. So the fuck am I supposed to do? They don't care. And then 42 years survivor of type 1 diabetes out of almost 51 years of life on this planet. But, never mind the fact all the other issues I have: nerve damage, kidney damage, heart issues. But, it's okay. You can go work at McDonald's and serve human meat. But yeah, took months, then finally got back all my disability last month. So from February to June, jumping through hoops. And this isn't the first time it's happened. It happened during Obama. It happened during Biden. It happened during Trump. So it doesn't matter what clown's in office. Yeah. I stopped eating. I didn't eat a lot of fast food anyway. I've always kind of gone to mom and pop places. Like we've got some families from Italy here that make stuff. And the daughter went to Italy and won 3 awards for the food I eat here locally. There's a Greek restaurant where the great grandfather came here, and it's just gone generation to generation to generation. That's where I go to get my Greek food, you know. A couple local pizza places, generally Italian ran. I'll get pizzas from there instead of chain. But yeah, I stopped eating fast food before the pandemic or pandemic happened. And I mean, it's funny because growing up, it seemed like we were poor. Like we had a roof over our house because my grandmother gave us her house so that we had a place to live and whatnot. And we'd buy half a beef and, you know, that kind of stuff, whatever. A lot of home cooked meals. And my grandmother could burn fucking boiling water, man. Like, that's the funny thing. And my mom can kind of cook, but she was working a lot. So we kind of learned and made shit on our own. But now, you know, we had our own gardens and all that kind of stuff. So now everybody needs that more now than ever with everything they're doing. And either way, I mean, with all the damage they're doing to the planet globally and all this shit that doesn't make any sense to me. But do my own potatoes, got my own tomatoes, generally make my own bread, don't eat sugar very much at all, and if I do, it's natural sugars from fruit, local honey or local maple syrup, and or, you know, just eating actual produce from. I've got like a blueberry orchard up the road that's all organic. We've got a strawberry place as well. Hell yeah, you betcha. Well, the area I'm growing in, because you don't know this, Bonewood, but about a decade plus ago, we had an 8-foot pool, and I had cleaned it out and was getting ready to fill it for the summer, and then I fell in it with no water. So I got kind of fucked up, to say the least, more so than what I already was from motorcycle accidents and other stupid shit. But so that's how I ended up on YouTube, was after I fell during this is back in like 2015, 2016, I fell in a pool with no water, and I couldn't get in the doctor for like 9 months back then. And by the time I went in, they really didn't do fuck all for me. They, you know, pain pills and this and that, and I'm like, no, man, I don't do that. So at 6 feet tall, I ended up at 265 pounds, the heaviest I'd ever been. And while learning to re-walk again and try to be in less pain as I could be, I would listen on my PS3. I'd put YouTube on and play music, because that's the only thing I used to use YouTube for, was to either A, play music, or B, how to. Because there's always some hillbilly redneck that will tell you how to do something. So that's how I learned to do a lot of shit, smoking, meats, and all that kind of, you know, just a little bit of research, if you will. And Frank, the wiener dog that's white, because he's a pieball, had his own PS3 controller, because the fucker I'd gotten like a new one, and he claimed it and fucking ate the button, so that, like, I couldn't use it. And it was just sitting on the I guess it's a coffee table, the side table, and I had music playing through the PS3, and I don't remember what I was doing. but I was doing something, either dishes or cooking or prepping to cook or whatever. And I start hearing this guy talking, and it turned out to be Jeff Hicks from World Class Bullshitters. Like, well, I'm going to put a video of picture of this guy rather with his head up his own ass. He was talking about the state of Star Wars. And so I had listened to it, and he'd done this like twice. I'd go in and there'd be something else playing than what I was like, what the hell? So he kept changing the channel on me. And that's how I ended up on YouTube, because just prior to the PlayStation, I had a smart Blu-ray player or DVD player, and I was listening to it on that, and he snagged a controller and was fucking with it. So I put on the PlayStation instead. And oh no, wait, shit, I take it back. I had a smart TV, that's right, that had the YouTube app. That's what it was. It was on the TV first, and then he was fucking with it. So I moved the remote where he couldn't get it, and sure as shit, he did it with the PlayStation 3. That's how I ended up figuring out YouTube. And Mr. Hicks was going to a horror hound convention with horror movies and stuff down in Indianapolis, which is about 3 hours south of me. And he did a morning podcast called Good Morning Pop Culture at 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm Eastern Standard Time. And I used to work third shift, so I'm not much of a second or third shift kind of guy. So I really didn't like early mornings. But while being injured, I didn't have fuck all else to do. So I started listening to his podcast. And I didn't understand the chat, because like he's reading shit. I'm like, what is a hunky chunky funky monkey? You know, and hunky chunky funky monkey says. So I felt retarded as hell, because I had no clue what he was talking about. But because the smart TVs back in the day didn't have the chat, right? So yeah, that's how it started, because the dog found them. So they were going to be at the convention, and my daughter and my now son-in-law and I went down to Indy to the convention together so I could go meet those guys. And I had a big bushy beard at the time and had grown my hair out, but then I just did my normal buzz cut and trimmed the beard down to just a goatee. And then I burned Jeff. I walked up to him and acted like I didn't know who they were, and had a really good time and everything with them. And Dion Green's terrified of horses, and I had was it Yu-Gi-Oh, or I think it was a Yu-Gi-Oh card that had a horse on it that I gave him. And I told Jeff I had a present for him, which was a McFarlane art book. It had a bunch of his covers and work in it, which I gave him and he hadn't had at the time. And it had a really good Sunday with the guys. Got to meet Jeff the Iron Wolf down there and stuff. And a couple days later, came home, and our dog that was pregnant with 5 puppies, it would have been about $6,000 a dog because of her lineage, had passed, and we lost all the puppies. And Jeff saw me talking to a few people I talked to in the chat and brought that up, and it was really nice of him. And then when I learned about the chat was because my iPad Air, I had an acorn that had fallen and hit and split the screen, and down the road, up the road here, there used to be a place that would fix the screens. So I get my iPad back, and all of a sudden this wonderful little thing said live chat on it. And I clicked on it, and that's when I found out what a hunky chunky funky monkey was. But, and all the stuff he was reading in super chats. But yeah, I went to Indy and met Jeff and the guys. And again, I was about 265-ish, right around that range. And I was small compared to these guys, because they were all, mid-20s. And just, it looked like a football team, basically. And some really great pictures and good times with the guys. And then over the years, went to quite a few. Anytime I could make a convention, that was my yearly getaway, either to Ohio or Indy or both. And then COVID happened, and I ended up in Roanoke, Virginia, with the men's room, and we did a stream there. But yeah, met a lot of people, including Tommy. Tommy was one of the first people I met, and Slasher, Brandon Moist, Mr. Peabody, DJD, a lot of guys. And yeah, that's where that shit all began. But it was all because of my wiener dog, Frank. And then, through Odin's Movie Blog back in the days where I met a lot of people, and then Good Morning Pop Culture and World Class, and just a shit ton of names of people that I had, became acquaintances with and some really close friends. And then Vinny entered the picture as well, with Tommy and a bunch of other people. And I'd be on streams with Tommy and Drew and ETEP and the Men's Room with the Appalachian American and a bunch of stuff like that. But wasn't ever really considered myself a YouTuber because I didn't really do anything. But through all that and COVID and hanging out, I went from 265 down to 170. My lightest weight was 168. And I'm probably 180, mid 180s now. But changed the way I ate, started working out, been tobacco free since 2020. I used to smoke cigarettes on occasion and chew tobacco on occasion, but tobacco free. And then for the pain, turned to THC, and then was kind of done with that for a couple years. And then now I'm just, last night I had a little bit of Game of Thrones beer I needed to finish, but I don't really drink very often, and I don't eat a lot. And when I do, it's kind of more the carnivore diet without being on the carnivore diet. I still eat breads and stuff, but it's stuff I make. But yeah, that's about it. And then I'm out here all the time. And trust me, when you're out 3 acres and working in woods, biggest concern are the frickin' ticks. Thanks, Bill Gates. And then now the mosquitoes and the ticks and, all the weaponized wildlife that they're mutating. It's just not God's plan at all, demons. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep my head above water and be able to buy a few toys here and there. And then when Vinny was showing that new Thor figure for $66, I was like, Christ, we're paying Australian, California prices. And it wasn't even that good looking of a figure. I mean, I don't know, I didn't see it. I don't have a lot of the shops here because they shut them all down. I don't shop at Walmart. I hate Walmart. And I don't have a superstore near me. I've got just a regular Walmart store. I mean, I could go to one. It's about a half hour away, but... Oiler Greg, speaking of people I've known for a coon's age, that would be another one. The Doomcock days. Streaming with Doomcock. But yeah, just out here burning, brother. Steph is on the panel of the toy stream I'm on with Tommy on Thursdays. She pops in sometimes, so I was kind of giving her a backstory of all the shit we've been through over the years. And how I ended up on YouTube. I've got my never-ending fire so far that started on Wednesday. Still going. That's right. OG, more beer for you, brother. Yeah, it's funny because you wouldn't know it, but there's like 4 blocks before the main road north here. And if you just walk what you see and keep going that way, it's just 4 blocks and the 7-Eleven on the left. I went the other way, which by the time when I first stopped smoking, because I found out I was going to be grandpa too, and have Violet, my granddaughter, who will be 5 this year. Fuck. My daughter will be 30 this year. Son of a bitch, I'm getting old. But I would do the walk, which was 1.5 miles. I made it 1.5 miles. So anytime I wanted to smoke, that's what I did. I haven't heard from Jez or him in years. I used to be in that Discord, and then all my shit got taken away and never heard from him since. And haven't even heard from Brent. I don't know whatever happened with Brentley Utini. Not a word. Last I talked with him, he was waiting to, it's one of the UK guys, lived in Bath. He was still waiting to have he had his knee x-ray, and it had been like 8 months, and he hadn't seen the doctor yet. Yay for fucking their healthcare system. It's about as bad as ours. But they'd already seen the x-ray. There was something wrong with his leg, and he was fully vaccinated on top of it and worked for the console. But yeah, I don't know. I hadn't heard from him. He hadn't jumped on. I don't know if his computer died and he never could get another one, or whatever happened. But yeah, we had watched season 1 of Andor. Me, Deranged Lunatic, and Brent, and we were covering it week to week. And we were waiting on season 2, and I still haven't watched any of that because I talk with Deranged all the time. I've been down his way when I go to Oklahoma. I make a side, well, on the way through Oklahoma is the state he lives in, and I've crashed there a couple times, which was kind of cool because Pete from Creepy Little Book is where I met him originally, and then we streamed on Jesse Miller and a bunch of other people's streams. Bonnie used to stay up late with Slasher and watch movies, and Dr. Forbin, Brandon Moist, Mr. Peabody, myself, Raquel, just a lot of people, man. And you know, but yeah, Euler Greg here, Digital Pollution Podcast, used to be on there with those guys, and now it's just, yeah, Jez and Cub. As I'm sure Cub would say, I told you this was going to happen. No, you didn't. Some of it, sure, but it's the same censorship we've always had. But yeah, just the normal shit, you know. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, haven't heard from any of those guys in forever, so don't know. Hopefully Brentley's okay. I got to dig up his address. It's on the old computer. Maybe mail him a letter. Yeah, I don't know if he passed, which is a good possibility. He was having computer issues when we were doing Andor, and his computer might have died. I don't know. I had created him a Facebook, Utini, which he had access to if he ever wanted to jump on it, but he didn't have, like, he had a Twitter, but he never put anything on it or used it, and he didn't have a cell phone. So yeah, it's fucked up. I don't know whatever happened to Brentley, but hopefully he's okay. I guess I gotta mail a letter out to him or something to see if he's still with us. But he was fully vaxxed, so I mean, and he was diabetic as well, and I don't know very many diabetics that got vaxxed and made it. I don't know a lot of people that got vaxxed that did have bad side effects and or aren't with us. So hopefully he's okay. He was having a hard time those years ago finding food in the area he was at. He'd go to the store and half his food was gone that he would normally buy. So, and he was a chef. The days before the COVID experience. Yeah, I seen Jez was still alive and Cub was still alive. I'd seen, it was after one of their shows, pulled up on the YouTube and seen they were still going. Yeah, see, my daughter, same thing. And son-in-law. Yeah, man, I'll check it out. Greg. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Oh, geez, down in the great state of Texas. But hell yeah, I'll check it out, my man. Yeah, Sam will be 30 this year, and they just got Violet, and she's had health issues ever since. And same with my son-in-law. He had all kinds of. He ended up with diverticulitis or LOS or one of them. He ended up with one of those, and yeah, that was fucking weird with the crap food in America. Goy slop didn't help him any or her. My half sister, that's a nurse, when she got vaccinated, it stopped her heart. So they're like, "Oh, do you want to get vaccinated?" Fuck no. I don't even like the flu vaccine. Why am I going to take this shit? Used AI. Sweet. Yep. Well, remember, he bowed to China before anybody else because he said, the new conquerors. So a Palestinian German is who we're talking about with Cub. That's what was so funny about it. Yeah. Used to watch a lot of movies and stuff with Jez before they hit the U.S. because he'd get them and we'd watch them beforehand. Oh yeah, big time. Well, when you start doing the research and then if you ask for the packet that comes with it with all the warning signs, nobody would ever take a vaccine if they actually read it. That's like if people looked at the labels, what's in the food, they wouldn't be eating that either, and they go back to boycotting it. I see shit on Facebook and Twitter all the time, you know. Twatter is what I usually call it. There's a bunch of twats on there usually. But explaining the stuff that's in the foods that the FDA approves, who should all be fired and hung for treason and poisoning us, but they're still doing it. And that fuckwit president we got now, Trump, who's protecting the people putting glyphosate in the food, which is why they were saying don't use Roundup, because the shit in Roundup's glyphosate or glyphosine or whatever the fuck it is, and that's what was causing cancers. And instead of stopping it, I have to protect my friends. Well, fuck you, dude. That's treason. There isn't one politician in office today that shouldn't be removed, investigated, then all charged with treason because they've all committed it, and then publicly executed, say I. But, I believe I'm a constitutionalist. I don't give a fuck about Republicans. I don't give a flying fuck about Democrats or liberals, any of that shit. They're all the same side of the same coin. Not one thing has changed for the better. We made it through 4 years of Biden, who wasn't even running the White House, and not one person got arrested for that shit. They want to know the Epstein list, they get it, and then it's just on to the next thing. Everybody's a keyboard fucking warrior these days. They act outraged while they're eating their McDonald's human meat or their Bill Gates lab-grown chicken that's in almost every single state. If you're eating fast food, that's what you're eating. It's fucking ridiculous. And then the companies are changing their names. Oh, it's real meat, but that's the name of the company. It's not even, and there's been all kinds of reels about that shit. My state, along with OG state, has banned all lab-grown products, meats and whatnot, but we're still getting poisoned with everything else. And again, the FDA hasn't done its job in decades. Yeah, they don't care about us. They're not doing their jobs. Fixing America and most countries, step one is stop charging people 30 fucking percent on interest on credit cards. I remember fucking 6 and 10%. And now I see these new rates and I'm like, y'all fuckers are insane. I'm about to be, in 2 months before I turn 51, debt free. I just paid off my car. I got to pay off my credit cards because I got 2. And then I'm done. I'm debt free. And then it's, I did buy quite a bit of toys this year and last year, but that shit's done. There's the Calvarine coming up, which is a October release and all that. I got my pre-orders in for. But yeah, I'm limited in myself to, less than $100 or so a month to be able to spend on toys. because I got too much shit here I got to do. And then if I'm going to hit the road again, I just paid the car off. Next step is getting it completely fixed. Because the electronics and shit. So I either got to get the local mechanic to do it or go to the dealership, and that'll probably be a couple grand to get the car fixed. Then just like Tommy had to do, get new tires, so that'll be a grand plus. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at 3-4 grand to get my car up and running, and I don't even go anywhere. But to make plans to do shit, I'm gonna have to get 2 batteries. I mean, shit, price of some of these toys, I could buy the 2 batteries I need. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a fucking mess. But yeah, it'd be real simple. Healthcare should be healthcare, not death care. But you know, it's the same thing. I go to a doctor for a disease I've had longer than he's been on the planet, and or a doctor. Then he tells me, yeah, with doctor visits and vaccines, you could live a long life. Yeah, I've gone 6 years without seeing a doctor, and I'm fine. Pass, bro, pass. Tell him I don't want to take statin drugs. I refuse. I'm allergic. I'm not going to take lisinopril. I don't like the way it makes me feel. What does this fuckwit do? Prescribes fucking lisinopril. I'm like, and then the research is out of all the shit it does. Just like how ibuprofen, they knew it caused kidney damage and kidney issues, yet they put me on ibuprofen for fucking 20 plus years. And then they're like, oh, you've got kidney damage. Well, I fucking wonder why. So yeah, I'm just like, no. So like I said, I just slowly but surely went off everything. I was taking supplements from time to time, just protein shakes and a couple other things. Now it's just magnesium and vitamin D, potassium, because mine's always ran low. But that's it. I try to generally get everything through the food I'm eating, but I don't have banana trees yet. You know, I'm old nanners, man. But yeah, I don't know. When the credit cards went up and the cars and all that shit, that would be the first thing, is you eliminate that debt. You know, boom, okay, here we go. Secondly, our tax dollars in America shouldn't be going to either foreign countries or foreigners that are here illegally anyway. It should go to the elderly, disabled, and the veterans before anybody. And if you're going to serve this country, it should be your honor to serve this country, or they should get paid what I got paid. Live on $800 a month, fuckers. Then you wouldn't be making all these back deals and fucking this country the way you're doing it, and robbing the taxpayers, bringing illegals here and putting them on the systems to drain it, while Mr. Kennedy says, we're going to get all the chemicals out of the food, and then he can't, and then he says, we're going to get all the illegals off of Medicaid, which is the state program, and yet they threw me the fuck off. So, and Tommy has issues and can't get on it, and it's like, we're the people that these things were designed for, and you're throwing us off for illegals. Thanks, guys. Yeah, and then they get the kickbacks off the pills that are destroyed. Exactly. Sweet. But marijuana's illegal here. That's the fucking best part, right? All these harmful drugs. Like I said, I didn't have an issue. It would numb the pain from when I broke my back in the 90s from the motorcycle accident and the fall in the pool and everything else. And I used it, kind of as a crutch, but it helped numb the pain. And now the neuropathy, because I've had neuropathy for fucking over a decade plus. Yeah, it's still illegal in Indiana. Well, technically, it's illegal in all the states. Federally, it is still a federal crime to have marijuana. Even though the states don't enforce it now, they can, which is another reason I got off of it. Because every time, now they got them Flock cameras, and that's just a brand. The name Flock is just a brand. There's other brands out there that have been out here for even longer. But then anytime you'd pay with your credit card or debit card, they had that. So I always just paid in cash. But yeah, once I quit doing all that shit, I was just like, you know what? Let me Actually, I traded that for buying fucking plastic toys. So my weed money became my toy money. Basic, basically. So, but with the price of everything. But yeah, my state's there's a lot of states that still have it. They don't, like, nowadays they don't go after you for it and shit like they used to, but if they caught you in the car with it, and in Michigan where it has been decriminalized, you're supposed to have it in a lockbox in your trunk or this, that, and the other, a whole bunch of other bullshit. And then you can't really trust it from the dispensaries because that's controlled by the government and the states. So you don't know what's in it. And original marijuana that had the THC and stuff in it, well, they've been fucking with it and making it so it's stronger and taking some of the CBD and natural shit out of it. Yeah. I tell you what, I was a lot happier and a hell of a lot less pain when I was smoking. Now I just deal with the pain like I always have, but I'm also in the best shape of my life. So I actually used it to assist me and then not get addicted to it. There's very few things I'm addicted to, and one is steak because I like eating my local beef here. Um, and I get all my shit from the Amish that actually raise the beef and don't put the shit in the food and all that kind of stuff. Same with a lot of my produce and everything else. If we're not growing it, I'm getting it from local farmers, like you're supposed to. And yeah, it was nice and a good distraction, and it helped ADD and ADHD and all the other bullshit. But a lot of times I used it for recovery. I used it to help sleep because being an insomniac, I'll be up 2-3 days. Hell, I've gone weeks running on fucking less than 2-3 hours of sleep, 4 days, and I haven't even slept that. Yes, I did, Peabody. And it's funny because you had to call to get rid of it because you know what I learned. You need to go tell Dan that we know that he was the C-section because he's allergic to labor. Dun dun dun. Lazy twat. But yes, I did. I saw that the car was finally removed. But yeah, when I was on THC, it was nice. I didn't get overly lazy. It helped work out the workouts, especially after I got more sleep. Mr. Peabody there, I mean, I'd be, because he's in Australia, so about 12-hour time difference, sometimes 13. But I'd be up till 3, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning talking with him, go lay down, take a siesta for a couple hours, get up, and then start my day. So by 8, I was up. And then, and that was after the fall and everything. We met after that. But it's literally been finding what works, because everybody's different. It depends on what works for them. And, for me, I was doing fine while on THC, but I didn't like the feeling that I had Tommy. So I didn't like the fact I had to use it. Felt like a crutch, but then I got off it. Well, he needs to get his ass out there and clean the leaves. And the pool. Fuck him. Fuck you, Dan. But yeah, fire's still going, Tommy. Ended the stream, plugged the phone in, chatted with Vinny for a few, and then just kept an eye on the fire. Took a little nap. About 15, 20 minutes, and then Threw some more logs on the fire this morning, and since we got blue skies and massive clouds here and there that are big and fluffy, I thought, well, why not? Why not go live? I got nothing else going on. We got a nice breeze blowing, so it's not super hot. Unlike Florida, where it's Satan's taint, sweating your ass off the second you step outside. The boys are sweating, sticking to your thigh. But yeah, man, nah, fuck that. That could go for the ladies too, with the twins. But yeah, nah, man, it's actually a nice day, so I figured throw more on the pile there. And the wood pile has gotten a little smaller over there. So yeah. Ah, gotcha. And they'll be shitty if you don't. Those damn guinea pigs. Yeah. They'll be squawking at you. You better believe it. Yep, took care of the dogs this morning. Grabbed a cup of coffee, which I finished after I went live. Watered the grass, watered the tomatoes and the plants. And like I said, 3 more logs on the fire. Nice slow burn. Like I said, I should have a neat tripod sitting over there. Smoky. Yeah, I never can find the energy to get anything done. I just end up doing it because I know it ain't going to do itself for the most part. Hell, we was talking earlier about fixing shit. The FDA doesn't need a job. I should be the FDA. Anything I can't eat, the rest of the world don't need to eat. Put everybody on a diabetic diet. But don't drink diet sodas, whatever you do. That shit's horrible. They said decades ago pop wasn't good for you anyway, but every sugar I don't know about that plant-based shit. I haven't tried it yet, but I just cut all sugar out instead. But yeah, it's had Sweet and Low to NutraSweet to all the other shit they came up with, and it all caused cancer. So I was like, nah, I'm good, pass. So I just cut it out, drink my tea straight. Sun tea, no sugar. So I could put honey in it, but been drinking it too long with nothing in it. Maybe a good whiskey, but that's about it. On occasion, but I don't know. I've never been a big drinker. Except for when I streamed with Jez and Cub. That was about the only time I drank a lot. Hanging out with those bad influence. No. But yeah, that's when I drank a bit. Hanging out with the guys, bullshitting and drinking some beers, but worked all that shit off. So a lot changed for me when I found out my daughter was going to have a baby, and then Violet was born. And last 5 years have just been a testament of what can be done when you put your mind to it and surround yourself with the right people. Ain't nobody gonna make you stop doing anything. That's for fuck sure. Goes for eating right, stop drinking, stop smoking, till you're ready to do it on your own. Yeah, for real. That's the only thing that don't cause it. Oh, dude, yeah, Cubs just Cub. Let's see, for Steph, how could I explain Cub? Take a Pakistani German who's very hateful and then multiply Shifty to it. That's yeah. But you'd have to change Shifty from what Shifty is and make him German and Pakistani. That says he'd go back to his home country once all the Jews were out. So, or the invaders, as he liked to also call them. That's Cub. But never had any hard feelings against the guy. Like I said, we did have some really good conversations. Hell, I've got videos still on my computer when we were all off air talking together, and us bullshitting. Hell, I even got Cub on camera. Balding ass little Pakistani that he is, speaking German. I don't care. German just sounds fucking funny and evil. They'd be saying, have a nice day, and it sounds like they're telling you, die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die. But, he did have some good insights and retrospectives from time to time, but a little anally retarded. And then when his one buddy would come over and they'd do cocaine, he was fucking hilarious. Not like Jens, but, he was actually fucking hilarious. Shifty hilarious. Fucking talking about squishy balls and how he likes old men and forgot to say figures. Jesus, Shifty. You're making me laugh. No, figures. The only thing that made it not gay was Steph saying she likes old men figures. So that shit was fucking funny. She saved it. Even Tommy's wife came on and was like, this is the gayest conversation I've ever heard. I had to come back on just to laugh. That shit was hilarious. When the Queen Pigette is telling you how gay it is. I'm not gonna grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. You should act your age. How the fuck am I gonna act my age? I ain't never been 50 before. Matter of fact, that lovely healthcare system we were talking about said I wasn't gonna live to be in my 20s. So, fuck you, healthcare system. Every day is a spit in the eye. Right. No, it just continued burning, man. We didn't start it. It just continued burning. It's from smoldering leaves to throwing logs on there that need to burn. Speaking of helicopters, we need to get a helicopter to find your helicopter, then they can bring you here to help me move those logs, because I can't move some of them by myself. They're too damn heavy. I think I've pretty much pilfered every piece I could get. Maybe one or two more I could possibly do, but We'll let all this burn down a little more. It's nice because another couple months we'll have the fall and I'll have leaves to burn back here. So this will at least be all cleaned out for that. See, maybe the chickens will come across the street again. They like to get across that the neighbor's fence sometimes and come on the other side where the grass and stuff is. I've had them over here in the yard on occasion, pecking in my yard, which I'm fine with. Yep, I just go across the street to get some vegetables and eggs, because I get farm fresh all the time. And then from another lady. No grocery store. Damn right, just have fun. Oh, I just keep waiting on them to come fuck with me about the fact I'm burning. Be like, yeah, yard waste. Better than the dogs darting across the street, especially with all this traffic. Chicken gets hit, we'll have smoked bird for dinner. Freshly plucked, that sumbitch. Good eats. Oh, the only person that bitched about the chickens was the business across the street, which is retarded. This is supposed to be a residential area, yet business. All around us are businesses, but we're residential. And then they want us to follow city laws instead of county laws. And then you get a person like me that goes in there with state law that says this, that, and the other. And I'm like, your county laws don't matter. The state law is this. This is the state of Indiana. Fuck you. I tried playing by their rules. It didn't work. As it never does. If there's any music coming through, if you can hear that, that's coming from the biker house from last night that was all lit up, because the Michigan hillbilly white trash cunt that he's married to loves to blare the radio station so that everybody has to listen to it because they've got stadium speakers versus just regular household speakers. So they better pray that the world doesn't change and fall. Like I said, their house was all lit up when there was no power. They'll be the first ones to get Yeah, I can't believe these phones. This is Go Gadget Eyeball. Look at that shit. It's better than some of the scopes I got. I saw I thought of you, Tommy, when I saw this. It's an anti-drone thing. Looked like a bazooka. Yeah, they're very loud, OG. Very, very loud. Oh, yeah. I remember Frogger in the arcade. 25 cents. Shit, yeah. Yeah, it literally would lock on the drone and you could pull the trigger and it looked like a bazooka, but it shot something that would take the drone out. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, a pellet gun and a bow and arrow would do the same thing. Yeah, pretty much. It's fucking hilarious. Even had like my screen on the phone where you could zoom in and lock to target. Reminded me of the fucking, what was it? Top Gun game or Afterburner and shit. Like, yep. Back in the old Atari days and stuff. Speaking of Frogger. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was something I think I saw on Facebook. I think I sent it to Peabody. But yeah, it had me dying. I was like, man, that's hilarious. We'll just bust out our Red Riders and others that don't exist because you know they were on the boat that went down. Anyway, yeah, that was my feeling. I thought it was pretty cool looking. It was a good idea. If you got that kind of money to spend, I'm sure they were pricey. Since everything is these days. And today is leg day, just to make it even more fun. Yep. Fucking insurance companies now are flying drones over to tell you need your roof and shit done. Oh yeah, well check it out, OG. Yeah, they fly drones and shit around. Let me see that shit flying around out here. Can tell you right now, it ain't gonna be a pellet gun or a BB gun that takes it out. It'll be a 30-aught fucking 6. Oh yeah, man. I'll check it out, and then I'll share it out on social media too. Can't do anything right now because I'm recording on the phone. But hell yeah, thank you for sharing, OG. For sure, brother. Right. Nah, it's got to be the Rambo style arrow with the explosive tip. That was what the third movie. He shot at the Russian helicopter. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh, we're gonna be having some uh, gun shows coming up. I start seeing fucking drones flying around. I'll start buying fucking explosive tip ammunition because sometimes those deer are wearing armor. Wonder how a flight camera would do against one of those arrows, Peabody. Okay, I kicked the shit out of the fire, so you guys keep an eye on it while I go get a drink, and I shall be right back. It's all on you, Peabody. You keep an eye on the fire. I'm gonna show you. What I figured. Not a lot had happened. Damn it, Peabody, you didn't throw another log on. Cheers. Time for some coffee. The chicken's got something to say about that. Damn right. Yep, straight ahead's that bird bath. Yep. Same one that leaks down to give everybody else, the squirrels and whatnot, some as well. That's the one I gotta fix still. Some concrete. Holy shit, an hour and 40? Really? Wow. Doesn't even feel like it's been going that long. Kickity. Oh, there goes a cop. That was an undercover that just went by. Nothing was more funnier when I put Cub's name on the boxing bag and beat the shit out of it. Hell, that was pre a digital pollution podcast fucking episode. Fucking Jez was dying, Brent was dying. Even Cub laughed. Because I told him, don't get fucking cunt hurt. So it's like it's just a bit. I always would tell him to calm down, go do a line, you'll be fine. I'll never forget when he did his first protest over the COVID shit. After years of us talking about it, he finally got off his ass and went and did something. That was fucking hilarious. I haven't seen Voice, just another nerd, in a long time either. Still follow him on Facebook. All right, brother. You get going. It was good seeing you, bro. Hit me up on the Twitter or whatever, man. I think I gave you my number before. It's the same, but send me a message or something. I'll try to find you. Oh, yeah, man. I'll check out all the videos and then I'll even do hell, I'll share them online when I do it from the computer, bro. You have a good one, Greg. Be safe out there, brother. Yeah, there's been a couple robins I've seen running around. You know, I have an overabundance of pigeons. We got the finches, but I love that tree. That one. They'll be in there making all kinds of ruckus. It's hilarious. Fuck ton of wildlife out here. I ain't built it all yet. Nice. I still think my favorite Australian birds were those magpies fucking with the motorcyclists. That shit was hilarious. Pecking them in the fucking head, trying to take their eye. Thank God you wore a helmet. No, it's funny. OG's like, it's lunchtime. I'm like, fuck, I'm just now getting around to eating breakfast. Tried one of the tomatoes that we were growing. They're a heart-shaped tomato. So we had some Amish sausage that was cut up. Threw it on a croissant with some cheese and a fucking heart-shaped tomato and 2 hard-boiled eggs and my coffee. Nothing like coffee. Yep. That's one of them days you just sit here in a chair and end up falling asleep. No, there goes a Ford Flex. Nope. It's funny. Even though when I went in and they looked at my eye, and all the damage and shit that's been done, it's amazing how much more I can see. Yeah, heart-shaped tomatoes, man. I never heard of them either, but that's what we've got planted. I'll get a picture of some and show you. It's fucking crazy. That's what I threw on my sandwich because we had one that had a couple cherry tomatoes that, of course, fell that weren't quite done, and this one was a bit on the orange side. So stuck him in the window for the last couple days, and he was ripe enough to eat. So I cut him up and threw him on the croissant. The crescent roll, crescent, croissant, aluminum, aluminium, whatever. Flashlight, torch. College, university, garage. And the word that everybody understands, loud ass cunts. Shit. If I don't throw anything else on there, that fucker will still probably be slow burning until this evening. Which more than likely I won't really add too much more, just some smaller. Or if I can find the energy, maybe I'll get the pitchfork out and start getting some of them leaves to throw on there. So I think Vinny's going to do a whatnot at some point. I just don't remember what time he said last night. Or this morning when I talked to him till about 2 a.m. So gotcha. Okay. Right? Exactly. Put Kevin, Dan, tree hugger fucker. A few other people I could think of that would. Oi, it'd be the old school days where we burnt them at the stake. Fuck yeah, after Tommy impales them. After we beat them with a 2x4. No, bless them with the 2x4. That's what it was. Not be blessed. You've been blessed by the 2x4. Now you're impaled with the life. Tell you right now, I'm excited for my next sandwich. Not the heart shape, but there's a mater who's ready to go on a spam sandwich on a croissant. Fry up some spam, some cheddar, and this sumbitch. That's gonna be the next one. Oi, did you see the spook that just walked by? Hey mate, you see him? I did. That was a spooky spook. Yep. Blessed by a 2x4. Touched by a 2x4. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Your Hunter. Yeah, Tommy. That guy in a spam sandwich, my friend, on a croissant and some cheddar cheese. Right. Oh, crap. Oh, that's Hunter. He's the one that likes to escape all the time. Doesn't listen. Kind of like the neighbor next door. Somebody's going to the with a boat to the probably either one of the lakes up the road. Flipping cow is on one of the little on Simonton Lake up the road. That was that one place, Peabody, where we'd gone before, and you could see the lake and stuff outside. We almost bought a house at one point, but That was a H2 that just went by. All right. You just never know what the fuck you're gonna see. Riding lawnmower. Had a tractor go down the road the other day. That's not something that normally happens. Where'd he go? And with our sniper scope, this thing is so damn loud. Some WD-40. He was right there a minute ago. There he is. Look. Person. Alright, it's amazing what these phones can do. Flock that. Yeah, there was a H2 that come through same way as the U-Haul that you didn't see because it was zoomed in here. It went that way. Yeah, that was a H2, the Hummers that were built here locally. Best part is I can see this shit with my eye, so fuck around and find out. Oh, there's Move It. Not anymore. Dirt bike. Doing some Rambo style dirt biking. Oi, get ready. Oi, you can tell it's afternoon. We got another spook. Going to the 7-Eleven. It's funny because this is generally a Mexican kind of style area. Elkhart, anyway. You can hear him now. If Mick won't eat clothes, he can go down there and get him himself. Oh, yeah. Nobody said they knew how to mow. They just wanted to ride the mower. Like I said, it's pretty fucking hilarious how well these things can zoom in. Yeah, it's a rider mower, bro. Nobody fucking push mows around here. Everybody's got riders. 'Cause we all got, well, I've got one of the bigger yards in the area, but yeah. And that's that house there, and then next to it, where that driveway is, where they're at now, is a business that takes trees and shit and mulches them up and whatnot. Funny enough. And then you've got that business there that owns all that land, which that used to be Bud's carpet barn, and the house that's over here that's now the office used to be the grandparents' house of the people that built the house that we have, as we're the second owners. So they built this whole area up. And now there isn't a single one of them anywhere to be fucking found. Because the only other property that butts up on this side of the road where my house is that one other house, and the ex-wife took that. So the original people that did all this shit out here don't even have any family or any land that they originally started with, which is, well, you know, kind of ironic. But you'll have that. And that company next door, they'll have the ones that are on those standing mower things, those instead of the riders. I thought about a zero turn, but I really don't have the yard. Just this quarter lot isn't really big enough for one of those. I mean, I would get it done, but for the price of them, I could buy 2 riders or 4 older ones and fix them up. Like the 2 I still got sitting. One needs a coil and the other needs. Body roller cooler and shit. The only good thing is Justin's just stayed over in Ohio, so meeting up with him wouldn't be too hard. Oh yeah, I know, man. Monday was a hell of a fucking day. Thursday, you know, we had to stream, which was fun, but then yeah, your back was killing you on top of it. But you know, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Imagine if you'd done the fleece thing. Holy shit. It'd be even worse. That's for sure. we'll just have to coordinate an all attack on the guinea pig. Of course, I'm deathly allergic to those fuckers, but have to try to get a time frame where Vinny could come and visit, and I could shoot over, and we could come and actually help you for a couple days. Get some shit taken care of, you know, because you're back, especially. As soon as I talk with the daughter next and see when and if they're planning on coming to Florida and figure out what part, because you guys, I think, are more central or north of Miami or whatever the fuck it was. I'd have to look it up again. Um, but yeah, have to see, because maybe that's something we could do, even if I could swing down and kidnap Vinny, and then maybe Frankie could hang with his dad for a day or two and not have to work or something, and then, you know, we could come give you a hand. Oh yeah, there's always that too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just thinking more along the lines of coming to Florida to help you out with all the stuff that you've got that needs done, because I know you need help getting a lot of stuff moved and gone through, and you can only do so much. And every time you start doing something, you throw your back out or hurt your back even worse than it was to begin with. And you had the herniated disc and fucking everything else. Somebody's watching you. Southwest. Yeah, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. I always kind of forget because I'm retarded. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Either way, I know you're not too far away. And with Vinny, it's just him having the time and the access. And I think they've only got the one car, so I'll just go kidnap his ass. Get in the fucking car. Next thing you know, a fucking tour bus shows up. Tommy's like, what the fuck? This itty bitty little car shows. All you know is I sent in the clowns. No one can frown when the clowns are in town. Plus, maybe I'll get lucky and there'll be a run to Florida for delivery. So now I just come down on the run's dime, and pays me to get there and stay for a minute. And be funny, bring the Aussie team, have Lethal Lightning, David Applegate, Peabody. Wouldn't be able to understand work coming out of 2 out of 3 of their mouths. fucking lethal lightning with his trees instead of threes. Tree. No, that's three, homie. What's that thing? That'll keep it going. Smoke them out. Haha, Malibu generally nice. Let's see, hold on. Fucking already 1 o'clock. How about that? Doesn't feel like 4 hours have passed. I'm going to wrap this up on the live stream part. Peabody, I'll call you in a minute. Tommy, I'll hit you up in a little bit, check up on you as well after I get off with Peabody. I'll shoot you a text, see what you're doing. Thank you, Oiler Greg, for jumping in. It was great. Thank you, Steph. Bone, of course. The dog looking for a bone, baby. Clean the room for your inspection, right? Hells to the yeah. Hell yeah. Whew. Yeah, I'm going to go grab an iced tea and hydrate a little bit for a second. And yeah, Peabody, your Facebook will be ringing in a few. And Tommy, like I said, I'll hit you up shortly after, check up on you, shoot the shit with you for a few as well. Throw this thing on for a quick charge. But thank you, everybody, for jumping on. Anybody that joins later on the playback when I unprivate it as soon as I end it and then go back in and change the settings because, you know, YouTube sucks trying to censor me when I end my streams. But, you know, as our boy Slasher said, winners don't use drugs. Fuck you, Ted DiBiase.